Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today I have, a room full of first responders. I guess that's a good title. Why don't we go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Camden Whitacre. I'm a lieutenant for Warren County Fire and Rescue, stationed at Station 1 here in Front Royal.
Okay.
I'm Charles Bergen. I'm a captain with the Warren County Sheriff's Office.
I'm Michael Robinson. I'm a patrol sergeant for the Warren County Sheriff's Office.
We know you do all the work. Yeah. He's not going to agree with me. All right. A lot of stuff's happening in our county in the last couple of weeks. We've been so busy in our area. Last week we had the chief in here. We were talking about things. And he said, well, I'm going to send in some of my officers and some of the sheriff. The sheriff said, I'm going to do the same thing because she didn't want to be left out, But I heard great things about all the great work you guys were doing. So who wants to start? And let's go with the fire because we know it's all about fire. And you guys were just helping them.
So on Wednesday, March 20th, we had a red flag day, which is just the conditions from the weather indicated that there was a good indication for a lot of fires, and that's what we saw. So on Wednesday, the department was faced with a large amount of fires throughout the county on all aspects of it, and then that day we saw that our limited resources eventually became overrun by the large amount of fires we had. We were faced with many different aspects of structural protection, wildland, as well as the normal day-to-day EMS calls.
Right. Now, you had some evacuations because we had, 100 fires surrounding our county as well, didn't we? Like Shenandoah County and...
Yeah, so it wasn't just us that was, our resources were stretched. We called for mutual aid, and mutual aid was calling for us to come help as well. So it wasn't just this area that was being affected by it.
No backup.
Nope.
Which we normally rely on that because every county, I think, is short-handed and short-staffed and under-resourced, and we all work together. So this kind of like showed our weaknesses, didn't it?
Yeah, so this was a pretty big event in the Shenandoah Valley. Page County, Shenandoah County had the largest fires, but Frederick County, Warren County, everyone was affected equally. It just depended on where it was, and we were affected in the aspect of we burned a lot of acreage, but only burned a couple. We burned one shed, I believe, while Page County and Shenandoah County, they lost a large amount of homes.
Right.
So it affected everyone, but it just goes to show that, we rely on that mutual aid, and everyone does, but at some points when everyone's affected, we're not able to provide that or receive it.
Sure.
So it came back to our own staffing, which is very limited as it is. We came back to, at first it was just, if you're available, come back in, volunteers and career, and then it was, hey, it's a mandatory recall, we need everyone back. And even then, you can bring back as enough people as you want, but we don't even have enough apparatus to put people on or to go to these incidents.
Right.
At some point, there was more fires than we had people or apparatus available.
Right. Of course, now, people don't realize that every time they go, you go.
Yeah. That's correct. So my assignment that day was actually in the 911 Communication Center. The start of my career, I actually spent 6 years in the 911 Center. And March 20th was, I've never experienced a day like that. I've never called to surrounding jurisdictions to ask for assistance and been told, sorry, we don't have anything to send you.
You're on your own.
Yeah, it was quite impressive to see everybody in the valley that busy that we couldn't help each other out.
Right. So how many calls did you get that day? Do you recall?
The fire and rescue, I think for a 24-hour period.
It was over 50, wasn't it? It
I
was right at 50.
I think for the 24-hour period, I think it was right around 63.
Okay.
The sheriff's office between a little bit, just over 7 hours, took 44 calls for service.
Right. And typically, how many do you have on a normal day?
For 7 hours, 10.
Yeah, 10.
10, 12.
Busy day would be 20.
I think for a 24-hour shift for us, it's about 23 is an average for a day.
Yeah.
Somewhere around 40 of those calls for sure for the sheriff's office were for or assisting fire and rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Fire and rescue just ran out of resources, so we started dispatching deputies to go investigate if there was a need for the fire department. And then if so, when a unit became available, we would set
So you
up.
kind of like, there was triage, so you
Exactly.
kinda like checked it out
Yeah,
and kind of
yeah.
like prioritized.
Yes, sir.
That's an important thing. So when the limited resources, we have to prioritize. Well, Sergeant Robinson, so what about your day?
Well, my day was I was the patrol supervisor handling road operations. I guess it was a little bit after 12. I'd heard there was a big fire that had started off McCoy's Ford Road in the Panhandle area. I personally can remember just the screen getting on my mobile computer in the car, just getting filled up with calls. And that's never a good day when that happens. And I was trying to send my guys to do that very thing that Captain Brogan just said. If there's something that you can take care of, go take care of it. Get it off the screen. We were responding to a lot of trees and power lines, a lot of trees and roadways, seeing what we could clear. I even sent my guys to a essentially a public service call, something that they've requested EMS for. I read the notes, and there was no medical need or any need to pull an ambulance away from that.
Sure.
And I sent my guys to help them out. That's pretty much what I was doing until I actually came across one of the fires before it was reported from seeing heavy smoke. And that was where my day really started.
Right. Well, I know you had to evacuate some areas. But no one likes to leave
No.
their property, and sometimes you get a little, headbutted. I gotta go. I got my dog, my cat, my kids.
Sure.
What's the procedure on that? I mean, we're doing it for. I think people understand down deep. They know it's for their own safety, but no one wants to hear it.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of emotion involved. I mean, especially if you have animals at home. They're looking at longevity, right? So, okay, you're telling me I have to leave, but I have medicine at home I need to get to by 7:00, or things like that. So emotions come into play, and it can get heated.
Yeah.
But it's for the greater good of human life.
I think by the end of the day, all was good. I mean,
Yeah, there's
I
a
think-
lot of good teamwork that went in between the sheriff's office and fire and rescue. The sheriff's office assisted with going to calls that we couldn't. Like I said, we ran out of fire apparatus and we ran out of people. They were going to fire calls to investigate it for us.
see if there's a garden hose nearby, right?
Yep.
Well, that's
I mean,
actually
that's the point that we got to.
Yeah.
They helped us do evacuations. They did reverse 911. So in incidents like that, where the fire behavior, was unpredictable and we were trying to get people out of the way of danger, they can actually call to your residence and tell you need to evacuate.
Yeah.
So we started telling people that day to just stay at home, stay by their phones, listen for the phone to ring, and that would tell them what the next step would be.
And Mike, I would really like to push that. It's called Smart 911. You can sign up at smart911.com and put in your area. And this database can provide so much information to the 911 dispatcher. You can put in there that you have medical emergencies or you're confined to a bed and where you're located in the house. It can also pull if Lieutenant Whitacre lives in Warren County and say he's off, he puts in there he's a paramedic and we have a natural disaster and I need to search paramedics in Warren County. We can find him and reach out. Hey, are you available to come assist us?
Right.
It is a great tool that we have, and you can receive alerts like Lieutenant Whitacre was saying in reference to many different things that we push out.
My one son lives in St. Louis, and my phone was blowing off last week. And I what is this? And they come out, tornado warning. Please, turn into the local media. Blah 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 blah. I'm thinking tornado. I don't think. Then they said St. Louis. Oh yeah, I'm on that alert. So I
Right.
signed up because you want to, see where my kids are up.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really good. I mean, and we've really using technology. It really helps. The old days would drive through the neighborhoods with the speaker. I remember that even happening right here in Front Royal where the sheriff was going by with a speaker and making announcements, to evacuate or
Right.
change them because of the flooding and
Yes.
different things. Of course, probably before you all were born, but
Yeah, I mean, I can think of several instances where we've used reverse 911. This is the first time I can think of for evacuations, but for missing persons, we'll send out alerts, and just important things that people need to know.
Right.
We also sent one out for the prohibition on burning.
so how do they sign up for this?
They just go to smart911.com. You
Okay.
create a profile, and it pulls your address, and it knows that you live in Warren County, and
This is a national program.
It is. And you can select which alerts you want to receive.
That's good. That's a great tool. Well, how about you, Sergeant Robert? What did you at the end of the day? How did you feel?
Tired. Yeah, we were pretty busy. Like I said, I had the one fire and I left that fire and was had enough time. I spent a pretty good amount of time on that one, and I left that fire. And about the time I left that one, I filled up my cruiser with gas, and then they were calling for an evacuation on another fire. And I went to the other side of the county to help start going door to door, making sure everybody was out.
So how many deputies did we have out working that day, you think?
On my normal shift that day was I had 5 out working, myself and 4. But like Lieutenant Whitacre was saying, they did a callback, and 16 years of being in law enforcement, I cannot think of any other incident where we called pretty much every road deputy that we had and said, come to work now.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another time where we called everybody in like that. It was just...
Well, I know the community appreciates all the work that the fire department and the sheriff's office and the police department of all that they do. And I know the EMS here is a valuable resource that we have. And again, that's basically the only people you can call. You can dial that 911 number and you come a running. I know I've used it several times in the past, and always have great service. And the people are very knowledgeable. It kind of surprises you. You wonder, like, these guys really know what they're doing, and they do. They really do. And I see them on fires, and you can see the professional, all the crew, and especially the sheriff's office. When those people are right in your face, I just don't know. Sometimes the tempers flare up, and that takes a lot of training and just intestinal fortitude to just kind of just keep it calm and keep everybody going and kind of ride out the chaos. So.
Mike, I would like to say thank you to the community. As the day went on, we had an outpouring of people donating water and food, and just the care and compassion that was seen from the community is pretty awesome.
I think so.
We live in a great place.
The community comes together anytime there's a need. Sometimes we get a little complaining, but when the need comes, and the community always comes together.
Yes.
And brings us, together like that. It's a great place to live.
It is.
We love it. And I think the county government and the town government and everyone in between really pull together whenever there's these kind of disasters and emergencies that come together. Hospital, everyone, it all worked. And I know the community appreciates everything that our first responders do, and we want to just, give you a big kudos and, big thank yous for that. And is there anything else you want to add?
I would, on behalf of the fire and rescue, I would say, all the stations need volunteers. So if you have some time, whether it be actual boots on the ground or just assisting in fundraising, it all goes to the greater good. So if you have some time, please, and your heartstrings are pulling, please go to a local fire department and volunteer your time.
Yeah, you don't have to be a fireman. No. They have a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of jobs for people to volunteer for. From running the bingo to
Exactly.
to raising the money and just things that you can do to help. And I think every little bit helps. It won't be long. You're going to need a bunch of people to cut up that relish and them onions down there for that fireman's relish.
Soon, June.
Yeah, it won't be long. I know we've been invited to come and watch them get that stuff made again. We went a couple years ago. It's quite interesting procedure. So again, the community always comes together. We want to thank you personally for all that you do on a regular basis, and especially in this time of need that we had in our community. All right.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? I'm going to give you an opportunity. Going once? No, just kidding. Again, thanks to God. The chief said that he was very appreciative of his crew, and the sheriff was too. She was very proud of her crew and how they all came together. So again, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.